That does not mean distribution will be equitable, right? Right? अब जैसे हमने बहुत सिंपल लॉजिक है कि हमने इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट को सब्सिडाइज्ड लैंड्स दिए, राइट? टैक्सेस में वेवर्स दिए इंडस्ट्रीज को, फाइन. सो इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट कॉरिडोर्स क्रिएट किया, SEZ क्रिएट किया, 20 लाख हेक्टेयर लैंड एक्वायर किया गवर्नमेंट ने, SEZ एक्ट 2005. Lot of forests were damaged, lot of agricultural lands were used, acquired, right? Lot of rural infrastructure dismantled for this purpose. Okay. और SEZ मॉडल फेल हो गया इनिशियली, फिर से रिवाइव हुआ, right? So when we are doing all this, what is our view? That we are creating economic growth model, economic growth engines, and these engines will create the development, right? So either these engines will create development at the lowest level, but ऐसा हुआ नहीं हुआ. Land acquisition given to the corporates or the simplified laws for the corporates ended in acquiring lot of land by the corporates. Many of this land, in fact, as per the report of the various state governments, right, 45% of these lands acquired, एक स्टेटस ऑफ फॉरेस्ट रिपोर्ट आती है, राइट, ईयरली आती है, एनुअल. हाँ, सो एज पर डाउन टू अर्थ हैज गिवन अ रिपोर्ट ऑलरेडी. सो 45% ऑफ दीज लैंड, ऑलमोस्ट 50% मान लो, ऑफ दीज लैंड एक्वायर्ड इज स्टिल यूजलेस, इट हैज नॉट बीन यूटिलाइज्ड. नाउ वी हैव अ हाउसिंग प्रॉब्लम, we have an infrastructure problem, right? We have increasing real estate prices are increasing day by day. Unregulated real estate है बहुत सारा, right? In spite of RERA which has come, it doesn't matter. So logic is that if government had visualized कि भाई जिस economic growth model is not the end, it is just a means, and we can arrive at the goal that we want through other means also, not just this means. But Indian context में भी industrial development, industrialization became an end in itself. Trickle down model है कि नहीं है? ये trickle down model है, fine. But counter view that good governance is means. Now I said भाई good governance का ultimate aim क्या है? Ultimate aim क्या है भाई? Inclusion, justice. Inclusion is the aim, justice is the aim, democracy is the aim, right? Decentralization of power. Now we are viewing it from new perspective. Decentralization of power, that is the aim, this is the ambition. So instead of treating good governance as end, we should treat good governance as means, right? E-governance as good governance, ये भी एक व्यू है, both ways, right? Same logic. Is e-governance a means or e-governance an end? Means होना चाहिए. But National E-Governance Program first, 2006, it treated technology as an end. National E-Governance Program 2.0 obviously, जिसको हम बोलते हैं भाई डिजिटल, what is that? डिजिटल क्रांति है ना, ई क्रांति, सॉरी. सो दैट डिजिटल क्रांति जो भी मिशन है 2.0 NEGP, that visualizes that e-governance is not an end, it is a means, right? So using technology for education, using technology for voting, using technology for transparency, and likewise. Fine. So e-governance as good governance, e-governance for good governance, ये भी दो aspects हैं, same. So today, right, we may view it more from this perspective. Why this perspective emerged, right? Because it was obvious that was the kind of Western model of development which most of the developing countries were pursuing, but they failed to create the impact they wanted. तो इसलिए वो fail हो गए. और they by 1980s, by 1990s, late 97, 98, 2000, early 2000, these models did not become much important, right? They lost their sheen or their glamour. So counter view emerged. Anti-development model, anti-globalization model, counter-development thesis, right? No logo. Have you heard this movement? Justice movement. ग्लोबलाइजेशन को इन्होंने उल्टा लिख दिया. Logo is more about brand. You understand? Logo is brand. So this is no globalization movement or no logo movement. जापान में बहुत पॉपुलर हुआ, right? Justice movement. And likewise, so there are so many movements, social development movements, World Social Forum, right? So many initiatives were taken which somewhere criticized this model of development, right? So today when you think of कि भाई good governance क्या है भाई? Is it a prescription model given by World Bank? No. Right? Is it an end in itself? No. Is it a means to an end? Yes. ये समझ में आ रहा है? Fine. Then, if I say, okay, let me take some UPSC questions. Good governance is not a binary variable or on off system. So if I say good governance is not a binary variable or on off system, comment, what does it mean?
It's a process.
No, correct. It is not just a set of simple directives that you can use the directives and switch it on and eliminate the directives and switch it off. Right? This is basically a criticism of World Bank model of good governance. So if you are giving prescription, that will not lead to good governance. Fine. Then, you're right. So when we are viewing this term governance, we are more focusing on the process. Right? Only when you add good or bad to it, you give a value to that. अब इसको ऐसे भी समझ लो कि governance is without any subjectivity, it is without any biasness. So the term governance reflects the functioning or efficient functioning of the government. But the moment you say bad governance, you do not technically criticize only the functioning. You are criticizing the overall process that has gone into functioning of policies and programs. So इसका logic क्या है? See that so अगर politics bad है तो गवर्नेंस बैड होगा, पॉलिटिक्स गुड है तो गवर्नेंस गुड होगा. तो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन क्या है? इट्स अ न्यूट्रल सिस्टम. द वे यू डायरेक्ट इट, द वे यू यूज इट टू अचीव द पर्पस, इट इज गोइंग टू शो दोज कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स. ओके, दैट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ न्यूट्रल टर्म. इट इज एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट, राइट? इट फंक्शंस as per the political culture, it functions as per the ambitions of the political system. Correct? ये आपको clear? Fine. So see, good governance becomes a very important agenda after 1980s. Most of the theories or vocabulary of development administration, government functioning, public administration changes towards governance now. Now they change, right? So they start using the term governance than government, or public administration. Instead of puppet, they are starting to use the word governance now. Right? So idea of governance or the terminology of governance replaces the traditional public administration. Why this concern? उसके बहुत सारे लॉजिक हैं, बट एक बहुत सिंपल कॉमन सेंस लॉजिक है. द ट्रेडिशनल पबैड वॉज केम टू बी नोन एज ब्यूरोक्रेटिक. एवरीबडी रियलाइज कि भाई ब्यूरोक्रेसी वर्ड कहीं से भी पॉजिटिव नहीं है. इट डज नॉट कन्वे द ऑप्टिमिज्म, राइट? It does not convey the positive aspect of governing. So bureaucracy was becoming one of the prime instruments of failure, exploitation, authoritative nature. आप इसको समझो. तो गवर्नेंस क्या रीब्रांडिंग है पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की, ऑब्वियसली विद न्यू वैल्यूज है. इट्स नॉट द ओल्ड थिंग continuing. Fine. So new values, new elements in public administration. It's totally new structure. Its soul is transformed through governance. Okay, but what will you do? We'll be efficient. What we'll do? We'll serve the society. We are focusing on service. Whom are you going to service? The citizens? No. Citizens as customers. Will you manipulate the other organizations? No. We will liberalize the process. We'll eliminate the licensing. We'll make the things more flexible. We'll make it more transparent. See? Is it the usual bureaucracy which will do it? It will not do it. तो गवर्नेंस क्या आया? एक पूरा ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव प्रोसेस जिसने एग्जिस्टिंग ट्रेडिशनल पबैट को चेंज कर दिया परमानेंटली, राइट? मेकओवर. So it became very dominant, right? Or obviously in this context now, you see that theoretically numerous, what we can say, numerous developments have contributed to this idea, not just one. World Bank was just an event, right? But ideas have come from various aspects, right? Now, so here we have used the word like NPS. Now, new public service, right, is a kind of governance model only. अगर हम governance को देखते हैं, broad development, right? You can simply understand it कि भाई governance is now the new avatar of PABAD. So post 1980s, how are we now going to view what developments have taken place in public administration? So you will find that by governance theory या governance के logic का ही part है. It's part of the same logic of governance, that is NPM. New public management, new public service, neo-Weberian state, new public governance, whole of government approach, and public value approach. Public service and several aspects that they are all part of this emerging idea of governance, right? Or good governance, whatever you want, you can say. Right? Parallelly to this governance, another idea emerges, because if you understand it from one dimension, let us say, when I use the idea of governance, how do I view the government and administration? They are serving the society, right? They are associated with various actors, diverse institutions, and then fulfilling the goals of society. ये हमारे दिमाग में आता है. Understanding this? So can I say that governance perspective or governance approach is too focused on efficiency, right? Serving everyone, promoting productivity, right? Optimizing resource, involving networks of different organization. ये governance का purpose है, right? But in this entire understanding, where is government? Are we losing the essence of government? तो Fox and Miller, हमने नाम लिखा था अभी, right? Fox and Miller, right? They are saying under governance, the nation, the idea or the notion of state is getting diffused. Public administration is getting diffused. What does it mean?
So, like जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का काम वो बाकी की प्लेयर्स कर रहे हैं अभी, तो स्टेट की अथॉरिटी
बट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का कुछ कोर तो होगा. वॉल्डो हेट्रोडॉक्सी कोर पेरिफेरी मॉडल.
पेरिफेरी बढ़ता जा रहा है.
लेकिन अगर पेरिफेरी जो है इतना ब्रॉड हो जाए कि कोर की वैल्यू ही खत्म हो जाए, ऐसा हो सकता है. दैट इज व्हाट दे आर हाईलाइटिंग. सो फॉक्स एंड मिलर दे आर सेइंग कि टुडे गवर्नेंस इज सो मेनी थिंग्स, it is undefined to that extent that we cannot find now any definition of what is public administration. So in simple way they are trying to say कि public administration क्या है अब हम define नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. Is government essential to govern or not? So Modi ji is also saying 2014 he gave this slogan, no, that governance without government or less government, more governance. What does it mean? That is the idea they are saying, that is it necessary that governance will only happen when there is no government? It's not possible. So they bring this idea and they say कि भाई ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता. Government तो essential है. Government क्यों essential है? Because this is the one which binds the society together. The government and that public administration comes from the values of the constitution. They derive from the ideas of public interest. ये core vocabulary private sector की नहीं है, market based governance की नहीं है. That is not their soul, right? So they are saying if we borrow the techniques from the private sector, we borrow mechanisms from the market sector, it is okay, right? We are improving governance, but do we need to somewhere dilute our core philosophy, core values? So they say no. तो उन्होंने बोला कि भाई गवर्नेंस हो तो रहा है, गवर्नमेंट का नोशन डाइल्यूट हो रहा है, पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ट्रेडिशनल रोल चेंज हो रहा है, बट एक्चुअली गवर्नमेंट और पब्लिक का अब क्या स्टेटस है? सी, सो इट इज़ वेरी इजी टू से दैट आई एम नॉट गोइंग देयर, राइट? बट देन समबडी आस्क इफ यू आर नॉट गोइंग देयर, वेयर आर यू गोइंग? So when you are saying I am not going there, you are not actually conveying where you are going. आंसर नहीं है इसके अंदर, है कि? तो वैसे अगर हमने बोला भाई गवर्नेंस इज नेटवर्क, फाइन, नेटवर्क ऑफ ऑल दिस, बट गवर्नमेंट कहाँ गया? व्हाट इज द स्टेटस ऑफ गवर्नमेंट? व्हाट इज द स्टेटस ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन? व्हाट इज द स्टेटस ऑफ पावर? व्हाट इज द स्टेटस ऑफ अथॉरिटी इन द सोसाइटी? ये कहाँ है? So in spite of all the functions being performed by different actors, power is still to be exercised. Power तो फिर भी चाहिए. Security, defense, law and order, internal security, right? Naxalism, terrorism, lot of functions are there. So does it mean that we have outsourced all the core functions of the government? No, we have not, right? So there emerges another perspective called governmentality. In simple way, you can understand that if governance was product of criticism of the government, and somewhere the belief was if the government and traditional public administration are reduced, if their role is restricted, then governance will improve. ये उन्होंने या जो भी scholars थे या institutions थे, they visualized it this way, that less the government and public administration is, more the governance is. So somewhere in governance theory, we do not give prominence to the government and public administration. Governmentality reverses this idea. Governmentality says, right, people like Michel Foucault, Fine. Any other name you know? Herbert Marcus. A lot of people are there, leave it. So governmentality basically owes to Michel Foucault. Michel Foucault postmodernist है, वो बोलता है कि see, he raises a very valid question that if governance is emerging, the role of government is reducing, the importance of government and public administration is reducing, but still the importance of power and authority in the society is not reducing. And he cites numerous examples. What about increasing crime? What about disaster management? Right? What about terrorism? What about border issues? What about nuclear war? What about this? What about that? What about that? Right? If you see in the last 25 years, there has been 25% increase in defense spending across the world. क्यों ऐसा हुआ होगा? This is a valid question for all you people who are writing mains. Right? Lot of fodder for essay, lot of fodder for your paper 3, paper 2 also, IR, governance. Obviously, paper 3 में भी है. क्यों ऐसा होगा? Paper 4, even today they are asking theme-based case studies. Today they are asking contemporary case studies, right? जिसको आप current affairs case studies बोल सकते हो. They are taking current affairs development, mixing it with the theory, and then asking a case study. Fine, that is the innovation UPSC can do. So why there has been an increase in the defense spending? Last 25 years or last 20 years, right? More than 1/4, 25% increase in most of the nation's defense spending. क्यों? अभी आपने बोला गवर्नेंस आ गया, सब कुछ अच्छा, everything is fine. We are moving towards efficiency, we are moving towards productivity, everybody is working together, globalization has come, all the nation states have a common purpose. What is that? To maximize growth and distribute this growth. यही तो purpose है, purpose. So when the World War III is not taking place, right? When the concept of human rights is becoming more dominant today, when societies are becoming more literate, more compassionate, more logical, right? Digitally connected, technologically advanced, then why increase in defense spending?
Sir, to protect the national interest.
अरे बट अभी तो हम यही बोल रहे हैं ना कि हम तो ग्लोबलाइज्ड हो गए. फाइन, अब हम उस टाइप के मिडीवियल बैकग्राउंड के लोग तो है नहीं दैट वी आर फाइटिंग वॉर्स, वी आर एक्सपैंडिंग टेरिटरीज, वी आर डूइंग इम्पीरियलिस्टिक टेंडेंसीज. व्हाई सो मच ऑफ इंक्रीज इन द बजट स्पेंडिंग? इन्फ्लेशन एक एस्पेक्ट है, चलो एक्सेप्ट किया, बट फिर भी ओवरऑल डिफेंस बजट स्पेंडिंग कम होना चाहिए ना, बढ़ना क्यों चाहिए? दुनिया अच्छी हो रही है ना, खराब हो रही है? नहीं, बट यह फैक्ट है. लेकिन जब आप गवर्नेंस का पर्सपेक्टिव लाए तो आपने क्या बोला कि लेट्स फोकस ऑन नेटवर्क, लेट्स फोकस ऑन प्रोवाइडिंग गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज टू द सोसाइटी, लेट्स फोकस ऑन इम्प्रूविंग द स्टेटस, द रिसोर्सेज, द अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ बेनिफिट्स टू द पीपल. खत्म बात. तो दुनिया में जब सब लोग लोगों के बेनिफिट के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, so see, that is governmentality. So this idea, this perspective talks about it कि भाई what is the core function of government and administration? Is to protect, is to control, right? Is to use authority, is to regulate the conduct of its members and obviously adjoining neighbors or international relations. तो ये उसका main काम है. Whatever we are talking about, let us not treat government as a private sector. Let us not treat public administration as a private administration. So they say it is not like that. Things are changing, acceptable, but what happens to power? What happens to authority? So the concept of governmentality comes, and they give a new definition of power. Right? All these, or you can say both of these terms are used in the globalization era, right? The term
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dipankar Chaudhary. I secured rank 42 this time in Civil Services examination. I just came from one of my assignments. As you can see, I'm currently working. I have a morning to evening duty right now, and I'm currently posted in Kerala as an ASP, Assistant Superintendent of Police, under training. So Ashutosh sir has been, one of the greatest motivators to me during my civil service preparation. I remember when I cleared my IPS, I got into IPS. He was one of the first persons to tell me that you should reappear for this examination, because I had completely given up. After 3 years of such hard work, I was like, I am done. I don't want any part of this anymore. I need to take a break. I need to relax. But I'm very grateful that he motivated me to write this examination again. And I really wish you all the best for all your endeavors. One thing I would want to add about Ashutosh sir is that my optional was public administration, and public administration got very unique and dicey after post 2012. So Ashutosh sir was one of the first faculties in New Delhi to get a hold of the new pattern in public administration, or the new syllabus, or the hidden syllabus, as many would have called it. So I'm really grateful to him for that. Best of luck to all of you, everyone. Goodbye.